I'm Nil Durak. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and Head of Customer Success for Solvoyo. We are a next-generation platform that helps clients manage their supply chains end-to-end, from demand all the way to delivery, with little to no human intervention. Welcome. Asena, very quickly, can you also touch upon the demand aspect of this? Of course, managing fresh, you really need to understand the demand and sense it so that it can actually be a quality input into the rest of the decisions that you make, inventory decisions,
Yes,
fulfillment decisions, transportation decisions. So tell us, what's going on the demand planning side, because then I have a great segue into what Britain, talks a lot about in the AI area as a follow-up question. So go ahead.
Okay, I'll let Britain talk to the AI aspect. But ultimately, especially with these seasonal products, there are so many different drivers that shape this demand, right? We're talking about season shifting. We're talking about extreme temperatures, weather events, harvest season, harvest weeks, days could be shifting. So to model the demand for these periodic or seasonal items, you need to really have very sophisticated demand forecasting models that take into account all these different internal and external drivers. Being able to model the life cycle of strawberries. How does it ramp up? Because in the beginning of the season, they are more expensive. Therefore, fewer people are buying them. And then there's like the peak where they become more available. You get harvests from all around the country. So you have all this supply, so the prices go down. And then there's the tail end of it when maybe strawberries are not looking that good anymore. And maybe you might even have to reduce prices not to end up with waste. So being able to apply more sophisticated models that attract all of these different drivers in one model, all the way to as I said, the temperature. And maybe one of the things that we've experienced this summer, of course, very extreme heat, inspiring people maybe to have more strawberry milkshakes. Therefore, joke aside, I mean, definitely weather plays a role both on the demand and on the supply side. And then the demand curve in these cases are shaped by supply, because the supply really drives the pricing too, right? When there's little of it, the prices are high. So that has an impact on demand. When there's more, their prices get lower. So that also has another impact on demand. So the demand model is fundamentally, where you start to get this right. And of course, to be able to do this intelligently, you need to use a lot of data, and you also have to think very local, because as Mike suggested, the sources are different, and maybe some stores are literally across the corner from some strawberry fields. I live in Florida, and there are definitely a lot of strawberry fields there. And then some stores, maybe up north, they're not that close to the strawberry fields, and their demand might be different. Their expectations might be different. So you really need to get down to the local, literally store, zip code, city level to be able to understand both the supply, access to supply, and how the demand preferences are shifting throughout this life cycle.
Excellent. Okay. Oops. I think we lost Britain here. Guys, I think, we are at the mercy of Mercury. So those of you who follow astrology, Mercury is in retro. So we started as 4. Now we're going to continue as 3. There is a lot going on in the US with the hurricanes. So panel, we're okay to continue, right?
Yes, no hurricane here right now. So at least for the next couple of minutes, I think I'm safe.
Okay. So Mike, let's talk about your experience utilizing technology. Of course, advent of advanced analytics, very promising, including AI. Can you walk us through some of the successful examples of you seeing, that being applied? But then also speak to us like what you wished there was there that didn't exist, that technology addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're really one of the first areas that I see, where I've seen it applied for for significant success is really around cognitive automation. And that's one where, the algorithms are able to take a lot of data, whether it's structured or unstructured, and be able to perform a task. It's not necessarily a routine task, but it's kind of the other end of the spectrum of RPA, the robotic process automation. And so I think the area for me in terms of cognitive automation that I think is really exciting is the fact that the type of problem solving that it can do and how quickly it can do it is extraordinarily important for a supply chain to become flexible and to become agile. And as Asena talked about, some of the scenario modeling, and that's one of those ones I wish I had. I wish, going back, I could have used scenario modeling, what if modeling. That would have been just an absolute game changer to be able to say, I'm about to make this decision. It feels right. It looks right. I think it's going to cost the right thing, but I really don't know. And I've got to be able to do some sort of test. Scenario modeling, what if modeling, that would have been an absolute game changer. I think, you're continuing to see, extreme advances on the forecasting side, where for sales forecasting, where you're able to see, multi-algorithm approaches to forecasting. Asena talked a little bit about that. The other area that I wish that I would have had would have been more demand sensing capabilities. Understanding those short-term changes in customer behavior, in trends. Those would have been absolute wins for a supply chain. Again, going back to how do you get a supply chain to be flexible and agile, to be able to respond quickly to those changes? And I think, that's also, I think, a movement towards a customer-centric supply chain, which, Gartner's written a lot of articles about that as well as others. And I think that demand sensing capability is one I wish I would have had when I was doing some of this fresh work. The other areas where I've seen some great advancements is really around the quality, food quality, when you're looking at food safety. So as the product's coming in, being inspected, seeing some great advancements there in terms of moving from visual inspection to destruction, but now being able to leverage machine learning to look for patterns, and be able to understand very quickly what you have in front of you.